Hi, I'm Griffin.
I'm Evan.
I'm Cassidy.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Jessica.
We're the Flood Watchers!
What is climate change? Climate change is when long-term weather patterns are altered. The Earth's average temperature is currently rising every year. Some problems caused by climate change include extreme weather events, sea levels rising, and threatened agriculture. Climate change occurs from natural and human causes. We add to this problem when we drive our cars, heat our houses, and when we eat excessive amounts of beef and dairy products.
Introduction to flooding. Increased flooding has recently been an issue in the Grey Bruce area, which is correlated to the changing climate. The damage of flooding and other severe weather are huge, and we need to find a way to get this problem under control before it is too late. Our group Floodwatch will take you through what flooding is, what causes it, and solutions to try and help the severe weather event.
Flooding causes. Most human causes of climate change result in greenhouse gases entering our atmosphere. These gases form a barrier that traps the heat from the sun from leaving the earth. Flooding is then caused when the rate of evaporation increases as the earth becomes warmer. When the atmosphere becomes warmer, evaporation is increased, which causes more intensive downpours. Sea levels are also rising due to glaciers and ice melting as a result to the warmer environment.
Flooding in Grey Bruce. Problems. There has been a recent increase of floods in Grey Bruce due to climate change. Flooding causes washouts on local roads and bridges that cost municipalities thousands of dollars to repair damages. These washouts cause road closures that may prevent people from easy access to their school or jobs. Ice jams form when water builds up behind a block of ice, typically in bodies of water. When temperatures increase, the blocks of ice melt and can cause extreme flooding. Ice jams were melting in Paisley, Ontario, and they have put some residents on notice that they may need to be evacuated to the upstairs of the community centre if water levels continue to rise more. The water was up to the bottom of the Queen Street Bridge. Climate change isn't just an environmental issue anymore. Public Health Grey Bruce says that Health Canada confirms that climate change would prevent new health concerns for most Canadians. Lyme disease and West Nile virus, waterborne illnesses, heat-related illnesses, and the possibility of displacement and isolation are listed as a few of the health problems we could be facing with climate change. Protecting your water in a private well so it does not become contaminated. Staying safe at beaches by not swimming for 24 to 28 hours after a storm because it can cause sickness if you swallow contaminated water. Repairing and rebuilding damaged bridges and roads. Moving to higher ground, getting flood insurance, using flood damage resistant materials such as glazed brick, concrete, stone, or steel, and tiling farmers' fields to prevent loss of crops from floods.
In 2008, municipalities across Ontario came together to evaluate the infrastructure of the province, and there's a deficit of about $60 billion. These predictions are now out of date and need to be updated considering the recent weather patterns. They start a storm water infrastructure deficit fund in Ontario of about $6.8 billion. However, this fund is now inadequate as climate change has affected the old predictions. $6.8 billion is not enough money to cover the damages caused by severe weather in Ontario. The solution in Ontario is to update the fund for stormwater infrastructure deficit in order to make the necessary improvements. The fund will then be able to endure the changes in our climate. This fund is used to build thousands of kilometers of road and provide the money needed to repair drainage pipes, sewers, and bridges.
Flooding has heavy effects on agriculture in Grey Bruce as well. When flooding happens in a field where there are crops, the heavy flooding does not allow the farmers to harvest their crops on time before they get destroyed. Reasons this may happen can be due to how the heavy flooding in the fields makes it very muddy and almost impossible for the tractors to get through and harvest because they will get stuck in the mess that the field is now because of the water damage. Heavy flooding also causes the nutrients in the soil to be lost, which then does not provide enough nutrients for the crops, and the nutrients are often nitrogen-based, which means that when the fields are flooded, the runoff from the flood leaks into our rivers, creeks, and lakes and causes world issues like dead zones and algae blooms. Some solutions that could prevent these runoffs is tiling fields. Tiling fields is like a drainage system for fields and would act as a drain to drain out the nitrogen-based nutrients and pesticides. It consists of below-ground pipes that allow the water to get into the pipes and carried out through the tiled lines.
Reoccurring events such as damage to farmers' crops, extreme weather, flash floods, and rising sea levels have all been on the rise due to natural and human causes such as overuse of motorized vehicles, heating and cooling houses, and eating excessive amounts of beef and dairy. They contribute not only to Grey Bruce, but Ontario as well. To prepare people for the effects of severe weather due to climate change. Extreme weather can be a very scary and dangerous thing and should not be taken lightly. We hope that our solutions would leave people feeling safer, more prepared, and leave the community in a better shape in case of floods, ice jams, and other extreme weather conditions.